Hello, BEC. It is so good to be here with you guys in the Black Educator Circle. Today we are talking about crafting your exit plan with confidence. Crafting your exit plan with confidence. I got something really special for you today. Tonight we are in part 3, which is our final part of the weekly session. So, we are talking about crafting your exit plan with confidence. If you are with me, drop a hi, hello in the chat. Drop a hi, hello in the chat. I am on my phone on Facebook, making sure that if you put a comment in the chat, I am there. So, I want to make sure that you are good and all of your comments will be seen. So, drop a hi, hello in the chat as soon as you can, so that we can then, of course, interact with each other, right? So I want to see you. I want to hear you. I want to make sure all is well. Drop a hi, hello. Here's my question for you. Where are you watching me from? Where are you watching me from? So if you can go ahead and shout out where you're watching me from, that would help me know exactly where I get the most viewers and have the most members in the BEC. So, where are you watching me from? I hope all is well. It is Thursday night, and you may have had a rough week, but I want to take this moment to speak life and speak energy and speak love into you. I really want you to take a deep breath and understand and embrace the fact that you are at the end. Tomorrow is the last day of the week. And so, for what that means for you is tomorrow is right at the door. Like you're right there. You got one toe right there at the threshold. After tomorrow, you will embrace your weekend. And I want you to rest. I want you to relax, and I want you to reset. I want you to intentionally rest, relax, and reset. The 3 R's: rest, relax, and reset this weekend so that we can get ready for next week. So you're almost there. You got through Thursday, praise God. Now it's time to make sure that we get through Friday so we can embrace the rest and relaxation that is in store for us. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, I'm live in the BEC. I am also live on our YouTube page. And so I'm only live in those 2 places. And I hope that you all pour in, you all come on in the room. I need you to be in the room because tonight, out of all the nights, is the interactive night. Tonight, I want to answer your questions. I want to take a look at us, your plans for advancement or your plans to transition out of education. Whether you're looking to advance up in your career or transition out of education, we are here for you. And tonight, because we talked all week about exiting, I want to see your exit plans if you have them. So I hope you're here with me. And if you are, drop a hi, hello in the chat because I need to see your exit plans. Again, I'm on YouTube and I'm also in our private Facebook group, the BEC, and I want to look at your exit plans tonight to make sure they are solid and maybe do some tweaking here and there according to your timeline. All right, look. As I say always, I am way too short to be long-winded. So we are going to get down to the nitty-gritty right away. If you know an educator that should be in the room, go ahead and tag them and invite them in the BEC because this is for them. All right? Let's talk about crafting your exit plan with confidence. Listen, a lot of times we craft exit plans and we say we're going to leave, but before we know it, the time gets away from us. And so, because time tends to slip away from us, it's like I was supposed to leave, and that was like 3 years ago. Anyone experience that? Every single time we have the beginning of the school year festivities, You see it in the educators' faces. You see it in our teachers' faces. You see it in our leadership team's face. Like, oh man, I forgot I was supposed. Okay. This year, then, this year is going to be my last year. Okay, this is okay. This year, or things start off good, like they do every single year, right? There's always a honeymoon phase, which is like the first month and a half. So things start off really, really well. And then as we get towards winter break, all hell begins to break loose. And you're reminded every single day why you had an exit plan last year, but you didn't follow through. I know how it is. I've been there, which is why I'm doing this right now because I got myself out and now it's time for me to help you get out. Watch this. Watch this. We're going to craft your exit plan with confidence. We're going to craft your exit plan not only with confidence, but with excellence. And this is our part 3. So on Tuesday, and if you were here with me, go ahead and type Tuesday in the chat if you were here with me. If you're watching this on replay, go ahead and type replay in the chat, right? If you're watching this on replay, I want you to type replay in the chat right now. Who's with me, right? All right, look, on Tuesday was our part 1. And in our part 1 on Tuesday, we talked about giving yourself a self-assessment, assessing where you want to go, assessing why you're not happy, assessing why you're unsettled, right? And then also taking into consideration your strengths and your passions before you decide or you determine where you're going to leap. Okay, does that make sense? We talked about not only giving yourself a self-assessment, but we also talked about researching alternative careers. You've got to research alternative careers. How in the heck will you know what's out there if you don't research your alternative careers? So give yourself a self-assessment to figure out your passions, your goals, where you're trying to go. And then number 2, you've got to do a little bit of research. Lastly, skill development. We talked about this on Tuesday. Skill development. You've got to develop whatever skills that you don't have in your toolbox that are a necessity for that new position that you're trying to acquire. Okay, so that's really key. Don't look at denials, right? Rejection letters as if they're rejecting you personally. What it is 9 times out of 10 is your skill set doesn't align with the needs of the position. So before you put yourself out there, you've got to make sure that you broaden your toolkit by adding more skills, more tools to it. Okay. So I hope I'm making sense. You may have all of the skills that it takes to be in the classroom, which is dope, but that leadership position that you're looking to obtain may require additional skills, right? And so with that, you've got to do your research, which is what number 2 is about. And after you do your research will help you determine what skills are needed for that position that you're gunning for. Look, that was Tuesday, and I know I jam-packed a lot on Tuesday. Tuesday was jam-packed full of gold nuggets. And so if you didn't catch it, go ahead and catch the replay. The replay is definitely on YouTube. It is also in our private Facebook group, the Black Educator Circle. Now we are on day 2. Day 2 was Wednesday. And day 2, I came with 3 more gems. Gem number 1 on day 2 was networking. We talked about networking and the power of connections. That's what gem number 1 was on day 2. And after we talked about networking, we also talked about updating our professional brand. Why? Because now you're going to have additional eyes on you. And those eyes are going to be determining the way you move about the cabin, the way you look, the way you respond to different things, even your posts on social media, if you are a good fit for the company or organization. So make sure your professional brand is tight, especially when you start looking for jobs. Here's the next thing that we talked about on our second day, we talked about looking for a mentor. You've got to seek mentorship. Why? Because a mentor could be the difference between you accepting a position that's toxic and you accepting a position that is the best fit for you. Your mentor can look out for you, give you the inside scoop, tell you what sectors of that industry that you should stay away from, because let's be real, all industries are not thriving at this point. So because of that, you don't want to jump out of education and into a specific industry or field that isn't doing well at this time, right? So with that, you guys, make sure you get a mentor so that your mentor can give you some inside tips. They can also introduce you to industry insiders, and they can even help you navigate potential challenges that you will face in the industry. Look, I'm hoping this is making sense to you. We are now on our final day, which is day 3. And you know I'm ready for you. You know I'm ready for you. Here's what we got for day 3. Watch this. Watch this. Day 3 is crafting your exit plan with confidence. Day 3, we are talking about gaining experience, financial planning. Like, you're not going to get that anywhere except in the Black Educator Circle, because we care not just about what you're doing in terms of your career, but we also care about setting you up for success in terms of your finances, right? So this is about not just you, but it is also about creating generational wealth. And we are about that here in the BEC. Lastly, we're talking about develop a transition timeline. Develop a transition timeline. The main reason you are still in the same position that you were in last year and the year before that and the year before that is because you've got these lofty goals, which is fine. It's great to have goals, but you didn't set a timeline. You didn't give yourself deadlines to accomplish these steps so you can make that successful leap up or leap out of education. So we're talking about developing a transition timeline, and one that will take place within 6 months. So stay with me, stay with me. We are getting down to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about number 1, gaining experience. Gaining experience. You've got to gain experience and test the waters a little bit. So this is number 7 out of 9, okay? This is number 7 out of 9 because we are on part 3. And so number 7 is gaining experience. Listen, why do I have to gain experience? It's best to gain experience because you're going into a territory, you're going into an area, you're going into a field that's unfamiliar to you, right? You've got to gain experience before you completely dive into the unknown. Before you make that full-fledged transition, test the waters a little bit. This is my professional advice to you. You've got to try to test the waters. How do I test the waters, Dr. Pride? This doesn't make any sense. Do I accept the position, do it for 2 weeks, and then jump out? Absolutely not. And I know that because we are all mid-career educators, we don't want to hear this word, but hear me out. Internships, right? Internships offer an excellent opportunity to gain practical experience and to understand the industry nuances that you may very well be jumping into. Internship. What does that look like? It is an amazing opportunity that you have over the summer, over your summer months. I know a plethora of educators that test the waters out in different fields and different industries over the summer. The summer months are a perfect time to do so. Why? Because while educators look at it as I'm off, I'm dead to the world, I'm done, other educators look at summer months as an opportunity to get their feet wet in something that they may do very well in. So gain experience by doing an internship. You can also volunteer. You can also volunteer, right? Because volunteering also exposes you to some nuances of that industry or that field. So that's another way that you can also do it, that you can also expose yourself to the field that you're looking to leap into. Internships and volunteering. You can also do some freelancing, freelance projects. It's easier to do this when you are looking to jump into curriculum development, when you're looking to jump into training, right? Into being a trainer. You can do some freelancing projects. So, and I just wanted to give you some sites to go to for freelancing. You can look at Upwork, or you can even look at Freelancer. Okay, so Upwork, Upwork, or Freelancer, exactly how it sounds, Freelancer. These are platforms that take up like short-term projects that align with your desired role. And of course, you can put this and use these projects, use these freelancing projects as you as experience when you put them on your resume, right? So it's not that you don't have any experience being a project manager. Actually, for the past 2 summers, that's what I've been doing. Or I am a contracted project manager, and I'm looking to do this now full time. So these are great segues into the industry or field or even position that you are looking to go into. I hope everyone is with me. Are you still with me? Go ahead and type hello in the chat if you are still with me. We are going to move on to our number 8. Number 8, number 8, number 8, number 8. You've got to financially plan your transition. You've got to financially plan your transition. Dr. Pry, listen, I am broke as a joke. So why are you talking to me about financial planning? Well, that's why I'm talking to you about financial planning, because I know that educators we do not get paid anything. I don't even want to say much. We don't get paid anything. We really don't. And so because financially, I want you to be good. I don't want the transition to break you or your family's finances. I want you, before you transition, to intentionally financially plan so that you can ensure a smooth transition into the position that you want. So, what that looks like is I'm not going to quit tomorrow because I have not financially planned this thing out. I implore you, right? Please, like educator to educator, you've got to take some time and financially plan your transition. Financially plan that transition. What does that look like? That means budgeting. That means budgeting. I'm gonna be completely transparent. When I decided to jump out of my administrator role into running my business full time, I decided that almost a year before I actually did it. So what me and my husband did, okay, we planned this thing out, was I got 2 checks a month. Some months I got 3, but you understand. I got 2 checks a month. One entire check went into savings. And yeah, it was tight. It was. But guess what? With that one check every single month that completely went into savings, I was able to then have a nest egg so that my transition, no matter how long it took, my transition would be okay and my family wouldn't feel a thing. You've got to do your own budgeting. You've got to estimate your monthly expenses and ensure you have a safety net for at least 6 to 12 months. So, a tool that we used in order to make sure we were good was Mint. Mint. We used Mint. Look up Mint, look up the app. We used Mint to do our budgeting and to do our financial planning. Use Mint. Mint is a very handy social media app. A very handy financial planning app that helps you with that. And then what the other thing we did was, because we knew I was transitioning, we made sure to reduce all unnecessary spending. Yes, Dr. Pride is coming down your lane. Stop the unnecessary spending, because you know why? We're working towards we've got a major goal that we're working towards. So you've got to make sure you reduce all unnecessary spending so that you can have a cushion while you transition out of education. Now, when you cut back on luxuries, you also look for, and I know a lot of educators are like, I don't have any luxuries, nor do I do anything. And that may be true. I was like that too. No luxuries, no lavish vacations, none of that, right? So the next thing that we had to do was I looked at hidden expenses that I could trim. And that helped me big time. So it may not be something that you're, making it rain for, but you can also look at unnecessary expenses, hidden expenses that you can cut back on. Okay. So be intentional about that. That's my number 8. Financially plan your transition. Financially plan your transition. Look, I hope this sounds good to you. If you are here with me, I want you to understand that time is of the essence, you guys. Time is of the essence. This week and this week only, right? All the way through Sunday, we are offering a 20% discount, a 20% discount on our strategy session. Make sure you get in there. Our strategy session is the place to be. This week and this week only, we are offering a 20% discount. So with the strategy session, look, the strategy session is key. The strategy session is key. I really want everyone to jump in the strategy session so that you don't find yourself stuck in the exact same position that you're in right now next year. Because next year, when I come on here and I talk about making career moves, jumping out of traditional education, I don't want you to be like, oh, she said that last year and I'm still in the same position. That's a waste of 365 days, right? And don't let next year be a leap year. I don't even know. You got to you got to stop wasting time, and you got to start making moves. You got to stop wasting time, and you've got to start making moves. Look, I've got 5 slots available. I have 5 slots left with the strategy session. So you've got 20% off, and the 20% off applies to this week only. 20% off all strategy sessions. 5 slots are available. I need you to book that strategy session right now. Now, I know I've been talking to you about the strategy session and booking the strategy session all week. And then you're like, well, Dr. Pride, what is the strategy session? Listen, it is time for a career change. If you are under the sound of my voice, if you're hearing me, if you're listening and you're like, yep, I know it's time for me to change my career, it's time. I'm talking to you if this is you. You know it's time for a career change, but you're not sure of the next steps, right? Does that sound familiar? So this what the strategy session does is the strategy session helps you nail your upcoming interviews, and it reveals the best way to market your accomplishments. Have you been applying to jobs and not landing job interviews? I know you have been. And you apply over and over again. You do a couple of tweaks to your resume, you do a couple of tweaks to your cover letter, and then you apply, but you are not getting the traction that you need. You're not being invited to come and interview. And you're kind of like, what the heck is going on? Listen, has it been a while since you last entered the job market? If so, I'm definitely talking to you. You know why? Because the game has changed. The job market game is completely different than what it was a few years ago. And here's the thing, because the job market has changed, I want you to stay on top of everything and to be on, have your resume and cover letter updated so that you definitely present yourself in a manner that is desirable to the company or organization or industry that you are gunning for. You don't have to worry about any of these changes to the job market because we keep up with all that so that you don't have to. So, because we keep up with all that, we know the game and we're here to help you play the game. Remember, your experience and accomplishments have tremendous value. And by understanding how to differentiate yourself, leverage those strengths, and maximize your impact effectively, you can create a strong personal brand that is going to propel your career forward. During our career strategy sessions, I help you navigate through a career topic of your choice. I also help you design and deliver your personalized career path and provide you with an actionable strategic guidance to help you move forward. So you get the action steps. You don't have to create them. I create them for you. You get the strategy. You don't have to create it. It is a done for you service. All of our strategy sessions are done for you services. So you can just sit back, because I know that's all the energy that you have. You can just sit back and enjoy our strategy session. Give your input, of course, as it is your personalized strategy session. And I even make the tweaks and changes that you need. So in those sessions, we discussed customized solutions and actionable steps. So the link was just dropped in the chat to schedule a strategy session with me. And the offer is going to end this weekend. So on Monday, when you log in, I'm not going to be talking about strategy sessions. Sunday is the last day to take advantage of this offer. I need you to get in the room. You've got to get in the room, because the strategy session is going to be a game changer for you. Right now, in this moment, I'm dropping the link in the chat. I really want you to make sure you take advantage of the 20% off offer, because it's rare that we're doing this. I mean, this is actually our first time giving a discount. And the reason I'm giving a discount is because most of you have been dropping in my DMs. And I'm like, look, let's go ahead and do something about this thing. So what I did right now was I just dropped the link for the strategy session in our chat. Definitely take advantage. Definitely take advantage of the strategy session. Look, guys, as I say all the time, I am too short to be long-winded, but I really wanted to share with you how our strategies have been going and the fact that our strategy sessions have been impactful. So I've got some proof to you about what's been going on that I wanted to share with you tonight. And that proof looks exactly like this. So I've had the pleasure of working with Jonathan Cannon before he became an assistant principal. And AP Cannon said, I had a great strategy session with Dr. Pride yesterday. She laid out a phenomenal plan for me moving forward. She is very knowledgeable. I'm so pleased with all the strategies that she has in place for me. Watch this, y'all. She has assisted me through 3 different interview sessions to get into the AP pool in my district. And you know what happened after that. He got into the AP pool in his district and was chosen. And this year, he is an assistant principal. Come on, y'all. Talk about impactful strategy session. Listen, AP Cannon has benefited from it. Here's another thing. You want proof? I got proof for you. Here's another one. Net goal. Dr. Pride is a wealth of knowledge. Guess what? She sat with me, devised a plan to ensure my success as a doctoral candidate. I am excited to embark on this journey of completing my studies. And then what's she going to do? Enter the world of leadership. Listen, Net, it is my pleasure to serve you. I am a servant leader through and through. And so it is my pleasure to serve you. And I'm excited for you. As soon as you finish your PhD, she's going to be Dr. Gold. And she's in the perfect position to obtain that leadership position in education. Here's my next thing. Serena, I got more proof, guys. Look at Serena. I have been praying for a coach on this level for years. A lot of you want to book the strategy session, which is dope. And another extra added bonus you get with the strategy session is my coaching. So during the strategy session, I not only guide you through your personalized strategy plan, but I also coach you into what career would best suit you. We brainstorm together. The strategy session is scheduled for an hour and a half, but sometimes, depending on the personalization that you need, we take all the time that you need. So I did that with Serena. with Serena, and she is an 18-year educator and so excited and prepared to leap into her next career. Look, watch this. Dr. Cornish. Dr. Cornish got on a one-on-one strategy session with me, and she's telling you here that, of course, I came to the table with a plan, and that plan was tailored to her. It spoke to her specific career situation, and it provided more than one solution to helping her achieving her long-term career goals. I got one more happy cut. I've got tons more, but for sake of time, Janelle Reed, she's my latest and greatest, came from latest and greatest strategy session that I had. And guess what? I came up with a career strategy plan for her, and she was so excited. Oh my goodness, she's still in the Black Educator Circle. Hi, Janelle. I'm so excited for you. And this strategy session was very different. It was very different in such that it revealed to her some hard truths about educational leadership. And she decided, well, I'm not going to tell you what she decided, but her decision came at a surprise, not only to me, but to her. And so the strategy session, you're definitely going to walk away with a solid strategy to advance in your career, but you will also walk away with clarity. And that's what I wanted you to get from all of the testimonials tonight. The strategy session provides you with clarity. It helps you obtain the clarity that you've been looking for. It gives you the answer. It helps you come up with the answer to your next move. Are you going to make the next move? Are you going to stay where you are? Book a strategy session with me. Let's walk through it and talk through it together. All right, guys. I really, really hope you take advantage of it. Like I said, I've got 5 slots available. There are only 5 slots left. And with these 5 slots, you guys, they're going to go quick. The beginning of the week, I had 10 slots available. Now I've only got 5. And I'm so excited to be working with the 5 people. So look, I need you to be one of the 5 so that we are not in the same situation next year as we are right now. It's time to make moves, but you want to make those moves strategically. You don't want to just move left and move right whatever way the wind is blowing. You want to create a strategy to ensure your success. That's what we do here in the BEC. That's one of the things we do here in the BEC. So book your strategy session with me ASAP. All right, guys, look, as I say to you all the time, I am way too short to be long-winded. So because of that, I am on my last one, and let's dig deep into the last point right away. Our last point, and you're going to love this. This is where we will conclude. You've got to develop a transition timeline. You've got to develop a transition timeline. What does that mean? Listen, the reason, and this is why I saved this one for last because it's the best one. The reason that you are in the exact same position you were in last year. And I don't mean same job title. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in terms of mindset. I'm talking about in terms of your professional growth. I'm talking about in terms of challenge and rigor, right? The reason you feel deflated and you're feeling the exact same feelings that you had last year and the year before that and the year before that, right? Not to mention the year before that, is because you came up with a plan to transition, but you didn't give yourself any deadlines. You had no time slots. You had no time in the plan. So that plan ended up going flat because there were no deadlines there. So my number 9 is so important, and I want everyone to hear me. You've got to develop a transition timeline. In 1 month, I want to have this done. I know I need my resume and my cover letter polished, so I'm going to give myself 2 months to do that. After I polish let's go ahead and get into it. You got to set a clear timeline with goals that ensures that you remain on track and maintain momentum. You've got to remain on track. You've got to maintain momentum. So what does on track look like? Well, I'm going to give you not a timeline, right? Because we all know how to create timelines. I'm going to give you some key points that need to be on your transition timeline. Okay. Number one, here's a key point in your transition timeline: self-reflection and research. Self-reflection and research. So I'm going to give myself 2 weeks to self-reflect. I'm going to give myself another 2 weeks to do some research about this particular industry, because I've kind of been interested in that. Actually, before I even entered the classroom, I was really interested in blah blah blah. I've always been interested in curriculum writing. I'm just going to use curriculum writing as an example throughout this whole thing. Okay. So, in my self-reflection, I've come to understand that I absolutely love curriculum writing. And I want to be a curriculum writer. That is what came out of my self-reflection. I also want to work from home, and I will accept nothing less than 80,000 a year. I'm just throwing numbers out there. Okay. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Okay. So all of these revelations and these goals and these targets came out of my self-reflection. Now I'm going to take 2 more weeks to do some research. And now the research may begin immediately after your self-reflection, but it may overlap with your skill enhancement. Because as I'm researching the requirements and what jobs are looking for in curriculum writers, I realize that, this type of writing or this form of writing, I don't have any experience in. So now what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to take some classes or some courses or some online workshops about this particular style of writing. As I continue my research process, as I continue to research the pay range of a curriculum writer, the responsibilities of a curriculum writer, who is looking for curriculum writing. Okay. Now I'm going to then move into skill enhancement. What does that mean? Well, I've researched the skills that are needed. Now I may need to take some workshops that center or stem around the skills that a curriculum writer has and that industry is looking for. Now I'm going to move into professional branding. Well, is there anything on my LinkedIn that needs to be updated? Absolutely. I need to change my profile picture or my profile frame, the frame that's on my profile, to looking for work or open to positions, right? Of course, well, that's the last thing you need to do. Before that, I need to update, make my LinkedIn page. And I also need to make sure that it's got a copy of my updated resume and my updated general cover letter. Okay. I then need to go through my LinkedIn page. I need to go through my Facebook page. I need to go through my Instagram. I need to go through my I need to go through my TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever social media outlets you're on. If there are any pictures, images, phrases, anything on there that is not a good reflection of you professionally, I would take them down. Why? Because you're going into a season where all eyes, no matter if you know them or not, are going to be on you because you're applying for jobs. So be careful. You've got to be careful. You've got to make sure that everything visible represents you and your professional brand with excellence. That's number 3. Here's my number 4. Next thing you need to do as make sure you have this as a key point on your transition timeline, right? So for the professional branding, I'd give myself 3 weeks to do that. This is just me. Okay. 3 weeks. I would give myself 3 weeks to make sure I comb through everything and make sure my professional branding is on point. Here's my next thing, number 4. The next thing that needs to be on your timeline, somewhere on your timeline, is networking. Why? Because networking exposes you to the right people at the right places during the right time. So networking exposes you to the right people in the right place at the right time. So make sure you schedule, because remember I said we can do 1 to 5 in a matter of 6 months. So remember what I said. So I need to look up, whether it be a conference, right? Whether it be a workshop, whether it be a convening that goes on, I need to be there because I need to make sure I'm networking with the right people. If I'm looking to jump ship out of education, that's okay. Find when the industry has their conferences, right? See if there's any of those. See if there are also any virtual conferences that you can attend in the industry that you're trying to go to. 9 times out of 10, virtual conferences are much cheaper than in-person conferences. So you got to do some research on that so that you can gain the exposure that you need. Lastly, apply, apply, apply. My resume is updated. All my profile, everything on social media is up to date and on point. My branding is in place. My cover letter is up to date. Now it's time to apply. Because once you apply, they're going to take your resume. They're going to take your name. They're going to then what? I'm going to do a Google search. I'm going to do a Facebook search. I'm going to immediately begin looking, right? And so that's why before apply is number 3, professional branding. Make sure your professional branding is tight. Because as soon as you hit number 5, as soon as you begin to apply, it's like all eyes will be on you, okay, at any given time. So you've got to be careful and make sure that everything in terms of social media represent everything that's associated with you and your name represents you well and puts you in the best light possible. The next thing that I would do, and this is just me, I would practice interviewing. I say this all the time. It does not matter how many times you've interviewed. It doesn't matter where you are in your career. Practice interviewing. Practice interviewing. Why? So that when you do get into the actual interview or into the chain of interviews, right? Because sometimes it's like, this is a 5-part interview, and you'd be like, oh my goodness, this is 5 times I'm gonna see y'all. Yes. This is a 3-round interview. This is a 5-round interview. Wow. Right? So once you get into those, it's too late to practice. First impressions are everything. Your responses are everything. Everything you say, everything that comes out of your mouth is going to represent you according to that company or organization. So when you apply, that's when you begin practice your interviewing. Practice your interviewing. And the longer you apply, the more jobs you apply for, the longer that you are applying to jobs and to open positions, right? Continue to practice interviewing. You can never be too sharp when it comes to your interviewing skills. I hope this helps someone. What jobs are you looking for? Can you drop them in the chat right now? I'm interested. What jobs are you looking for right now? I know that I had a couple of educators drop in my DMs and let me know that this is really helping them and they are actively looking. So if you are watching me, hi, it's good to have you on here. What jobs or job titles are you looking for right now? And I even want to know, what industries are you thinking about leaping into? This will be interesting to find out. So if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and answer that question and put that in the chat. What jobs are you looking at right now? What industry are you looking to leap into at this time? So go ahead and put that in the chat. If you are with me, put that in the chat. If you're watching this on replay, go ahead and type hashtag replay and answer the questions, and I will be sure to respond to you and get back with you. I hope and pray this was helpful to you. I really hope and pray that this was helpful to you. This is the final day of this series. Next week, I'm coming to you with something different, something brand new, something specifically dedicated to educators looking to leap up and secure leadership positions. So this past month was all about, and it was all for educators looking to leap out of education. Now I'm talking to, in the month of October, educators looking to secure higher positions to secure 6 figures. So I'm talking to our educators that are looking to secure 6 figures for the entire month of October. If you are that, if you are an educator looking to secure 6 figures, I'm talking to you. The month of October is for you. Why? Because it's for getting the bag. The month of October is for getting the bag. So it's for all educators looking to secure the bag in education. The month of October is for you. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Don't forget, drop in my DMs. Don't hesitate. Ask me a question. I'm open for all of it. I'm here for all of it. So ask me questions, drop in my DMs. I am more than happy and willing to serve you. Last call. This is actually the last call. I'm going to put it up back on the screen. This is actually the last call for your 20% off for your career strategy session. Last call for 20% off for your strategy session. Make sure you get in the room while the getting is good. Get in the room while the getting is good. 20% off your strategy session. Okay. And listen, strategy session, that's where you get all the value. You get so much value from the strategy session. I dropped the link in the chat. Use that link. Make sure you use that link before Sunday, because on Sundays will be the last day to use the 20% off for our strategy sessions. All right, guys, I still have 5 slots available. They will go quick. Make sure you are one of those slots. Make sure you get your name in there because I only have 5 slots available. I don't know if you've been watching. Monday, I had 10. Today, I got 5. Okay, so make sure you get in the building and be one of the 5 slots for the strategy session. You get so much value. You will not regret it. All right, guys, we'll talk soon. Have a great weekend. And as always, have a happy Friday.